Welcome back to the Curdaves podcast. We're back again for another week, and this is not how the script goes. I'm your host, Victor, and this is my co-hominid, Connor. How you doing?
Well, that was a shake-up, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Expecting
surprise people, exactly. You gotta keep people on their toes, you know?
I thought you were going to start just without me. I thought you were just going to continue.
Yeah, goodbye. Sorry, this is a solo podcast now.
Oh, okay. I have to make a rival one now.
Mate, the drama. We're drawing at least one fan.
We'll do diss track. We'll do diss tracks against each other. Magic diss tracks.
Oh, mate.
That'll be funny. But no, I'm good. I'm good. Just chilling. I haven't got much to do anymore. My studies are done.
True. Congratulations. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I'd say it's arguably one of the biggest deals. You finally reached the stage in your life where, like, the thing you've been doing for the previous all of your life is done.
Yeah, well,
education.
It hasn't really sunk in yet. I feel like I feel like I'm still in the mentality that I'm going to go back to uni next year.
Right.
Which I'm not. Thank God for that. But yeah. But no, it'll be good to be part of the workforce. That'll be good.
Yeah. Like, you've already done some working, so I guess it'll also be like you're pretty ready for it.
Yeah. But, ready to make that money.
Yeah. More magic cards.
That's the plan.
And I hear you've already gotten a head start on that.
I have. I'm planning on building a deck. Maybe I'll talk about it later. We don't know yet.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah. What about you? How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Hey, like, just got myself a new old chair. Somebody's giving away a chair, so I was like, yeah, I'll go grab that. Improve the setup slightly, because the chair I have is still actually it's one of the ones that the uni gave away like a couple of years back, so it's a little bit rickety. But
I think I left that. I think I left my one at the old flat. Flat.
You know, probably wasn't a bad idea.
Yeah. I stole my dad's one, so it's a bit better. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But aside from that, in Magic, there was an event that I played in last weekend. Was it last weekend? Time goes fast.
It was.
It was, eh?
Wait,
yeah.
was it?
It feels like it was so long ago already.
Wait, what's today? Wednesday.
Today is the 17th. As we're recording.
Oh, so it was
Wednesday.
Yeah, it was last Saturday, right?
Last Saturday. It must.
Well,
yeah, like not the Saturday just passed, but the one before that.
No way.
No?
No.
I don't know. It feels like time is so stretched when you're in lockdown and all that. But anyway, at some point recently, I played an event. There was a webcam modern event with our old LGS that's been shut down for the duration of lockdowns. But everyone decided to get together and play some webcam games, have a proper modern tournament, and it was actually super fun. Showed up with Abzan Elementals, my old like tokens list with Voice of Resurgence and Kahira and stuff like that. Had quite a bit of fun. Played against Murktide and Affinity, which I won against, and I lost to Yorg in the finals, so I came second. But was pretty happy with the result anyways. It was out of I think there were exactly 8 of us, so easy pairings.
Oh, it's a good thing I didn't join them.
Somebody would have been able to get a buy. It would have been good.
That's the
worst.
Could
watch more games.
That's the worst though.
Nobody likes getting the buy.
Go to a webcam. You're on a webcam event and you get a buy.
Yeah, I would have been pretty sad if I got a buy, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. My webcam setup was not optimal. I hadn't really prepped for it. I was like, yeah, it's gonna work. Spoilers: AV never works the first time.
It was possibly the worst setup I've ever seen.
Yes, at one point, so both my phone and my camera died. They took their turn, so it was okay. I just switched back and forth, but yeah, it was pretty damn terrible. But the final round, I think I had it sorted. But it took me a while.
Yes, it did.
It was a good time though. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah. I hear we have some more modern stuff to discuss for this week.
We do. We had some. Well, we had a showcase actually. It wasn't just a challenge. We had a showcase, so a bit high stakes. There was 328 players, so big event.
Yeah, that's quite big actually.
Nine rounds. It was, and a cut to top 8. So that's a long day.
Ruling Magic.
That's a long day. I don't think I could do that online anyway.
No.
I couldn't do that on paper, actually. That would just... I would struggle.
I think in paper would be worse, honestly, because you can't take naps between the rounds.
Yeah, true, actually. Mentally, that would drain me so much. But yes, it was very interesting as well. Bob49 won the event. He took it down with Belcher, of all things. Now, I had a look at the deck. We both had a look at the deck.
Yes.
We both don't really know what's going on.
No, I figured it out. Okay, I figured it out.
Okay, you figured it out.
Check the link. Actually, we'll put this in the description as well. But there's in the bibliography in our doco, there's a Belcher Piles document. This was provided courtesy of redditor ElevationAV, who kindly answered someone else's question about like how the hell do any of these cards do anything. And there's an example of some of the Belcher Piles that you can get. Actually, maybe do you want to just talk a bit about what the deck's doing?
Why didn't you tell me to look at this before we recorded?
Surprise! Yeah, I probably should have said something.
Okay, now I need to learn the Belcher deck on the fly. Okay.
Yeah.
But in essence, the Belcher deck, Goblin Char Belcher. It's a is it 3 mana or 4 mana? I should know this. It's 3 mana, right?
I think it's 4 and 3 to activate, right? Or 3 to... No, I actually don't know.
Seven mana total. 7 mana total.
7 mana total. That's all that counts. It costs 7 mana.
It's an artifact, yeah. You tap it, activate it, and you reveal cards until you reveal a mountain, and you deal damage equal to the number of cards you revealed, and if you revealed a mountain, you deal double the damage to any target.
Yeah, it's until you reveal a basic... not even a basic, a land card.
I
and
thought it was
if
a
it's
mountain.
a mountain, you deal...
Sure, yeah.
And it's 4 mana, 3 to tap.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And the deck plays no lands. It plays the double face lands from Zendikar Rising. So technically you have no lands in your deck. So when you activate Goblin Char Belcher, you deal damage to the opponent equal to the number of cards in your deck, which is going to be like 40 or 45 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's basically that's the main strategy.
7 mana win the game.
Yeah. Okay, so since you're a pro with this deck now that you've looked at the...
Yeah, I spent 5 minutes looking at somebody's Belcher Piles diagram. I'm an expert. I have years of experience with the deck, of course.
Alright, take us through it.
Oh no. Okay. So the deck's playing a bunch of whack stuff. The main stuff that we were quite confused at when we had a look at it the first time was the one Pyromancer Ascension in the main deck, and a few of the really wacky cards that are accompanying that. So there's things like one Pact of the Titan in the deck, and actually that was mostly it. But the Pact of the Titan and the one Pyromancer Ascension were just like, what is this doing? So the idea is that when you cast Recross the Paths, which I'll probably explain what that does, because that's a pretty wacky card as well. And I just need to have a look at it. Recross the Paths. There we go. So it's 2 and a green for a sorcery. And you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card into play and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And then it has some insignificant text if you clash. Well, technically it's not insignificant. You clash with an opponent if you win, return Recross the Paths to your hand. Which I guess you're kind of more likely to win because you have no lands in the deck. But the real deal with this is that you essentially reveal your whole deck because you have no lands. And then you get to put it on the bottom of your library in any order. So you stack the whole deck. And since this is just a 3 mana card, you can do this as easily as early as like, I guess technically there's a bunch of fast mana, so you could do this on like turn 1 or 2. And there's a bunch of piles that you can stack your deck for, so that you can win the next turn or do crazy stuff in the upcoming turns. And that's what the chart is for. So the main combo piece here is Reforge the Soul, which lets you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. It has Miracle for 1 and a red. It's a sorcery, and you chuck that on top, and then you chuck like 7 cards that you want in your hand after that underneath. So you draw Reforge the Soul, cast it, and then there's a few pretty interesting things you can do. So you can chuck a Pyromancer's Ascension on the field, And if you've got that, I guess I should read what Pyromancer's Ascension does as well. There's a lot of wacky stuff going on here. It's pretty confusing.
I think we would be here all day if you went through each card individually.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Look up Pyromancer's Ascension if you don't know it. But basically, it's an enchantment that copies spells. So the main synergies here are you cast Monomorphoses that will not cost you any mana because they just recoup it. So once you've got a couple of those in the graveyard and you've cast them, you get the counters on Ascension so that you can copy your spells. They then start making more mana than you're spending on them, and you can cast Balagid Recovery to return Monomorphoses or other rituals to your hand. And because you're copying that as well, you can return other cards. So you can start to loop cast any cards you want from your deck or from your yard. And essentially from your deck, since you can tutor them to the top with Recast the Paths. So at that point, you can win with a few different cards. There's Spikefield Hazard that lets you ping your opponent for one. Amiria's Call to make four White Angels. And Songmad Treachery to give any tokens that you make off that, or Pact of the Titan Haste. And so you're pretty much just like literally going infinite, making a bunch of mana, putting a bunch of creatures into play, or pinging and winning the game.
So you can essentially make infinite mana.
Yep.
Yeah. And cast infinite spells.
Yep.
Right? Okay, cool. Because I just find it funny that under winning cards it says Spikefield Hazard.
Yeah. You're like, what? How does that?
Yeah.
What? But
right.
yeah. Infinite mana, infinite casts of whatever cards you have in your deck, and I guess like Pact of Negation backup if you want it, which is pretty powerful actually.
Yeah, and
it's really interesting. I've never seen that sort of combo deck before. This is a Belcher deck, so mostly you're trying to win with Belcher, but this Plan B is actually surprisingly powerful and solid, it looks like.
Yeah. A combo deck that is able to combo off in two different ways is much more powerful, especially if it's not losing to consistency.
Yeah, because these cards, I mean, the main cards that you probably wouldn't play if you weren't playing these combos are Pact of the Titan, which is kind of a weird card otherwise, and Pyromancer's Ascension, and they're both one-offs. Everything else you'd probably just play anyway.
Yeah, and the winning cards are all double-face lands.
Yeah, which the deck wants for Belcher. So that's crazy. I don't know. Props to whoever figured that out, because that's a really cool synergy. When I saw that, I was like, whoa, this is some next level stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that the Belcher Discord is popping off at the moment. People
yeah.
crazy.
Well, it's had some pretty strong showings. Spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think it winning this event has kind of just come down to people don't know how to play against it.
Well, if you'd played against me with Belcher, I would not have known how this combo worked. You would have gone down Pyromancer Ascension and been like, sure? Yeah. And then I would have lost next turn.
Yeah, it's that's basically what it comes down to, is when you bring something like this that has a combo and it's so convoluted. It's so hard for your opponents to even fathom what's going on until they've lost. So, but well done to Bob 49 for taking down the event. I believe he was 8-1 in the Swiss, so he did lose. He did lose to something.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, well done him. Second place was Merfolk, the Fish are back, but it's a very weird build. It's very weird. It's not just play my Merfolk swing. It's got 4 main deck Subtlety and 4 main deck Archmage's Charm. So it's going more for a tempo rather than just going full on aggro Merfolk. It's got some late game with the tempo, with Subtlety, and also Archmage's Charm to draw more cards, counter spells. And actually, I saw a list that I played earlier today, actually, which only had 12 Merfolk in it. It had 4 Harbinger of the Tides, 4 Merfolk Tide, the one that when it ETBs it taps a creature. Can't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah, Trickster,
Merfolk Trickster, and 4 of the new Legend Merfolk from MH2. Sylvian or whatever it's called.
Sylvana. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Put it up on the screen.
yeah. If in doubt, put it on the screen. But it played dope. But it plays 4 counterspell, 4 Archmage's Charm, 4 Cryptic Command. and just goes full a mono blue control deck, but with Merfolk in it. It's playing
interesting, actually.
Playing 28 lands.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. And it went 5-0 in a league. I saw that in the 5-0 league dumps, and I was like, this looks awesome. I played it, and it was quite fun to play.
Oh, you played it as well. That's cool.
Yeah. It was quite fun to play. But no, it's cool to see these evolutions of these decks.
These are some very Westfield. Is that the term?
Left field.
Left field. That's the one. West is best.
Westfield.
But yeah, very cool decks.
But yeah, because we've seen Merfolk forever, and seeing evolutions of this like this, it's really cool to see. And it came second, so it did very well.
Clearly
as well.
has some power, yeah.
Yeah. And the third kind of unique one I saw in the top 8 was Amulet Titan. Amulet Titan's still kicking around. It's still putting up some results. Not as much as what it has been, but it's good to see it's still there with the Khan Wishboard
Was it tutoring creepy dollhouse or whatever the new card is?
I don't know. Give me a second.
Surely not. There's almost no way.
I want to say yes. Hold on.
Nah, but I hope not.
Why?
I don't even know why I hope not. I just don't think the card's good.
Wait, we'll get there. Hold on. No. There's no dollhouse.
No dollhouse?
No dollhouse.
Mate.
EE's, Taunts, Croak, Walking Ballista, Coding. That's it.
Solid.
Yeah. Yep. It's cool that it's still kicking around. Like, it is a really fun deck to play. Very hard deck to play. It rewards a lot of skill, much like Belcher, I guess.
Not gonna lie, not my favorite matchup, but it is cool that it's not dead. Like nobody likes to see a deck fully gone, except I mean, there's a couple of exceptions, but
I think
we won't mention those.
I think Solitude has something to do with the with it dying down a bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, other than that, those are 3 cool ones. And we've got the usual things in the top 8. We've got 2 Jund Sagas, Black White Hammer, Blue White Control, and Omnath Control. All usual stock lists. Not much.
Yeah.
Not much to say about those ones. But yeah.
I've got to say, I'm slightly surprised to see Omnath showing up in control decks. Like these decks. I mean, I know it's not necessarily a new development, and it's been putting up strong showings, but when it first was printed, I would not have guessed its home was control in modern.
Well, it's not really a control deck.
It's more of a mid-range deck.
It's a mid-range deck, yeah.
Yeah.
But
still.
it's a Planeswalker mid-range deck, basically.
Yeah.
Which takes the crown for the most expensive deck in the format.
How much was it? Like 1,300 or something?
Oh, online it's like 1,500, 1,600.
What?
Yeah. Runes and Fairies are so expensive online. Solitudes as well.
Wow, right, yeah.
Force Negations. It's like, it's money.deck. So, makes sense that it's doing well.
Then we had a Sunday challenge just after, actually. And, guess what? You'll never guess. ZYX Jerry won this one, and it was on Belcher. Almost exactly the same list. Very similar lists. So yeah, also playing the whole like Pyromancer's Ascension, Pact of the Titan. I noted that down because at the time when I was writing this, I was like, I just don't understand how this works. But yeah, pretty crazy to see it showing up again here. And it wasn't actually the only Belcher deck in the top 8. There was yet another one. So it's definitely been a deck that people were quick to pick up on, and that's suddenly sort of rocketing to the top of the these events. I guess we'll have to see. I imagine it's not too hard to adapt to that game plan. Like, there's probably a couple of sideboard considerations most decks can do to deal with the Belcher menace. But yeah, just awesome to see a deck like shoot up out of nowhere.
I think it's one of those decks that's like a one event deck, kind of thing. You'll do well with it in you'll see it do well in one event, and then people will over sideboard for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it'll just die again. It's kind of like Dredge.
Yeah.
Where you can definitely just steal a tournament just by registering Dredge, just out of the blue. No, because I feel like at the moment there is not much graveyard hate. I feel.
Yeah, that's true. Time to dust off the Dredge. Let's go.
Yeah, so you could definitely cheese an event with Dredge, but then be prepared for the hate the next event.
Yeah. So. Well, what you really need is you need to have a burn deck, a Dredge deck,
and Belcher.
a Belcher deck, and then just like controlled, and just rotate, like roll some dice, show up with whatever it lands on.
That would be pretty fun. You just rotate them.
Yeah. Well, no, because people would predict.
Ah, true.
So that's why you got to roll the dice.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, otherwise in this event we also had classic 4-color elementals. I found interesting the numbers in this one of just a couple of the removal spells. There was a split of 2 bolts and 2 endings main, and then 2 helixes on the side, which I just thought was just a lot of 2s and strange numbers. But I mean, it seems to be working well. That was the second place deck. There was a Glimpse of Tomorrow list, which I saw a glimpse. I was like, what's Glimpse? And oh yeah, it's this deck. It still exists. It's looking nice and focused. The list that ended up in this top 8 had 4 Chancellor of the Forge finally, which is a card that for some reason took longer than I would have expected to catch on as a good card to play a lot of. But it gives you a token early in the game if you reveal it, and when you get it as you're comboing with Glimpse, it is like your win condition. So I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't seeing as much play earlier on, but finally the deck's got there, and it's got Omnath and Fury also as 4 ofs just to get the, I think it was 4 ofs, just to get like a solid sort of mid-rangey, value-y plan as well in the meantime, and just a lot of really nice, clean sort of choices of cards, I think. So the deck actually looked quite good. This is possibly the first time I've seen a Glimpse of Tomorrow list, certainly in a long time, but one that looked like it was actually pretty solidly adapted to the meta and had a decent amount of power level.
You know, this would be awful to play in paper.
Yep. Nah. Thanks not.
No way. I considered making this at the beginning of MH2.
You did, I know.
I did, because I played it online quite a bit. I was like, this seems like a cool deck. I then realized, no.
The amount of stuff you have to keep. But man, I can barely keep track of like 2 Lingering Souls. Aside from that, though, we had a White Hammer deck. There was, I think, 3 copies of Silence on the sideboard, and I wonder if that was tech against the Belcher decks, as well as some of the other decks.
Yeah, he's got some inside information.
Yeah, possibly.
This is also by Crusherbot, who is very good. I think he top 8s almost every weekend with mono White Hammer.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
So he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And Silence was the truth.
Yeah.
There was a Murktide list. I wrote, yep, looks like Murktide, because it was classic Murktide. No changes or nothing that stuck out to me. But, yeah, so one of those 4... Oh, this one was a 5-color Omnath. I wrote mid-range for that one. And... yeah, it actually looks kind of fun to play, honestly. Like, I know it's the money dot deck, it's the new Jund, the real Jund. But it seems like a lot of fun to play. It was running a couple of weird numbers as well. I think 2 Manamorphoses in the main. I could not figure out why 2. I guess you probably just don't want to draw too many in your opening hand, but...
You know, a deck is crazy when it plays Renin 6, Archmage's Charm, Kaya's Guile, Colodon's Command.
Yeah. I mean, that looks fun, right? Like, you want those cards.
Oh, yeah. This would be so fun to play. But
yeah, I did see that. The mana is daring, to say the least.
Triple blue, red-green, and black-red? What?
It works, apparently.
Where are the Blood Moons at?
Yeah, well, the Belcher deck was playing 4 Blood Moons.
Oh, yeah, true. This one has 2 in the main and 1 on the side, yeah.
But yeah, so it looked like a pretty cool list. And again, 2 prismatic endings, which I'm finding that interesting, actually. Just wanted to make a note of that. Are people going down on prismatic ending? Is that something to be sort of either played around or just are people losing interest? What's happening?
Well, look at the decks that are in the top 8. It does nothing against the Belcher decks.
Yeah.
Does barely anything against.
It's a treasure.
True, true. It does barely anything against elementals.
Yeah.
It's not good against glimpse. It's
that's true.
It's good against hammer time. That's one deck.
And Murktide is not bad against.
Murktide, it's okay. Yeah. Interestingly,
but yeah, I suppose you're right.
Interestingly, with Murktide is I saw it's playing a main deck Jace over the 4th Murktide region.
Right.
Which I haven't seen before. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe they expected more of an uptick in control decks or mid-range decks. I'm not too sure. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, looking at all the decks here, like Prismatic Ending is not that great against them.
Yeah, I suppose. So I guess people were just tuning to the meta they were expecting, and again, seems to have worked out. But I'm just surprised because we were seeing Prismatic Ending as a 4-off for such a long time. But speaking of Prismatic Ending as a 4-off, full color Yorion Ephemerate as well, sliding in, and that one was running them all. But it was running 2 Ephemerates, which was interesting.
2 Ephemerates.
Yeah, I was like, isn't it 4 or nothing?
That's a crime.
I mean, I guess the deck was playing kind of just like good cards and has Yorion as a blink ability, so maybe it just wanted to play like minimize the situationality of its cards. But yeah, I feel like surely you just play 4, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Also, big Chandra in the side, which is pretty sweet. Just uncounterable, make an emblem.
Oh, nice.
Make your opponent take damage.
Yeah, you should play 4. You got 4 Solitude, 3 Furies, 2 Endurances. I guess with Endurances not as great, but with 3 Furies and 4 Solitudes, that's so good.
I mean, decks are getting so expensive these days. You know, you gotta cut something.
You gotta cut something. You cut the $1, the $1 common.
And aside from that, there's another deck that actually wasn't a part of these particular events, but that we saw and wanted to talk about a little bit.
Is there?
And that's I guess we're calling it what it is. It's the White Affinity deck.
The Affinity.
Terrible name. Yeah.
The Affinity deck.
Affinity. Playing 4 copies of Oswald Fiddlebender, which I suppose I probably should read what that does. For the unacquainted.
It's Birthing Pod for artifacts.
Yeah. 1 and a white 2/2 legendary creature. And yeah, 1 white mana, tap second artifact, search your library for an artifact with mana cost 1 plus the number of that artifact's mana value, put into the battlefield, then shuffle and only activate as sorcery. So yeah, the Birthing Pod sort of style thing. And this deck is sweet. I think actually you might probably know this deck a bit more than I do, but I can still talk about it.
Well, I haven't played it, but
right.
This is a. I feel like I mention him every podcast, but
you do. He's your idol.
He is my idol at this point. Aspiring Spike has been working on this deck for the past few weeks, and it's been really good. Like it doesn't look powerful,
yeah,
but it's so good at grinding, and it's good at slowing down the game with like these big top ends. Like you got Urza and you put a shadow spear on top of it, like you do with Hammer. You got Needle Cysts as well, but
yes,
yeah, it's just so good with grinding. It can compete with the control decks and the mid range decks.
Yeah, and plays a whole bunch of one of answers to things. You got like Thorn of Amethyst. You got what's it called? Yeah, 4 portable holes. Some a Pithing Needle.
Crucible of Worlds.
Crucible of Worlds. Yeah.
You can play with Urza Saga. That's a cool combo.
That is cool, actually. Yeah, an Echo Wellspring. I haven't seen that for a while, but that works nicely with Fiddlebrender. Actually, super cool list. Yeah. And don't worry, just because the deck is playing Needlesys doesn't mean it has to miss out a companion. This deck plays Jingatha. Yeah, everyone can relax.
Yes.
But this deck is sweet. I saw a version of the deck that was also, that was one of the versions Spike was testing. That was playing Crackdown Construct, and you can, target it a whole bunch of times with the haste 0 equip boots.
It's whenever you activate an artifact, activate an ability of an artifact you control, right?
Yeah.
It gets +1/+1.
Something like that. Or target it, I don't know, something along those lines. And just make it infinitely big, give it haste, smack in.
Yeah, so with Lightning Greaves it costs 0 to equip, so if you have another creature you can just infinitely equip between them. Just make an infinitely big creature and then put like a shadow spear on it.
Honestly, this is probably one of the coolest decks I've seen for a while. Like, although there have been a lot of really cool decks that we just mentioned, so I'm quite happy in terms of like Modern's health. I'm feeling happy with this week. This is a good week for Modern.
I think most weeks have been good for Modern. Like,
True, but this one in particular. I mean, look at these lists. They're so cool.
your top 8 was definitely a lot cooler than mine.
Right. I don't know, man. Like, there's some neat stuff.
Yeah.
Merfolk, man.
That's true. When Merfolk makes the top 8, something's wrong.
Something's right.
Nah, something's wrong.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a sweet deck. Aside from that, I guess we have now that Innistrad Crimson Vow has been out for a little while, and by that I mean short while, but we got some cards that we kind of were thinking about, like whether they can make it in Modern, whether they can make it in other formats. Did you have any thoughts for what cards you're kind of like looking to play or looking forward to seeing in results, hopefully?
Well, I love value.
Yep.
And Wandering Mind is value. There's nothing else to it. It is value. So, did we talk about this last week? Wandering Mind?
I am not sure if we did. I think you mentioned it. I hadn't seen the art at that point. I think actually we did bring it up, so maybe we don't need to go over the card. Watch the entire episode from last week if you want to know what Wandering Mind does. It's the only way to find out.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so good with ephemerate decks. I kind of want to. The issue is right. I'm building this band. I'm building band reclamation ephemerate kind of value deck. I want to add Wandering Mind to it. But that means I'm adding red, which means I should add Omnath, and I should add Ren and 6.
And at that point, you might as well play Kaya's Guile
and Kolaghan's card, and Archmage's Charm. But well, the main issue here is I don't have the money for that.
Yeah, I mean, like as we were saying, like upwards of 1,300 US.
Dove 6s are like $120. I'm not keen on spending that much on an individual card. But if something were to go down on price, maybe Ren 60 is banned. Who knows? That would be. I'd actually enjoy that quite a lot. But
I think everyone's wallets would sigh a sigh of relief.
I don't care. My wallet will be happy.
No. Like most people's wallet. The lucky few own them, but
yeah, true.
Everyone else whose wallets are sweating.
Yeah. But no, Wandering Mind I think could see a lot of play in Modern in ephemerate lists. Specifically, I'm not sure where else it could see play, but ephemerate lists definitely.
I mean, that's a really cool idea. I actually hadn't thought of that at all, but that's super neat.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah. For me, there's a couple of things I've been messing around with. I guess the main things I've been trying out have been in my usual black-white tokeny lists. So I sort of tried a build that was a little bit reminiscent of the old mono-white tokens that was kind of like almost good for a couple of weeks a couple of years ago. Remember when that was a thing? No, not many people do, but yeah, kind of tried to bring back like a token aggro sort of list, and I was hoping to use Kaya, the new Kaya, to do something interesting. So as we said in the previews, I'm not sure Kaya's super good, but when I saw it, I was like, I have to try this. Like, I'm pretty much obligated to give it a shot. So I decided to have a look, and initially I was thinking, because that's the synergy I'd heard, was people wanted to potentially in Standard play it with Essegis Chariot. So downtick, play an Essegis Chariot, get 4 2/2 cats or whatever. That seems like a decent amount of value. And I was considering doing that in Modern since my deck's already mid-range, 3 colors with green. What's it? Abzan, that's the word. But then I realized that actually you've got a Battle Screech that makes 2 birds for 4 mana, flashback by tapping 3 white creatures, get 2 more birds. So you get 4 1/1s, and if you have downticked I've just forgot the name of the planeswalker.
Kaya.
What am I talking about? Kaya. See, I've got a Wandering Mind. That's the issue.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, if you down to Kaya before that, you end up with 8 birds as early as turn 4, along with whatever tokens you've been making in the early game. So you can definitely flood the board pretty quickly. However, as you asked me while I was testing the deck, is Kaya good when you don't have that? The answer is no.
Did you do more testing?
Not really. Like the testing I did was relatively limited, but it's true that the time. No, I did test a little bit more after that. But yeah, when I had Kaya and followed it up immediately, and it lived, and I followed it up with the Birds of Battle Screech, that was definitely something that felt pretty powerful. But when I didn't have that, it definitely felt pretty underpowered. The +1 really doesn't do a whole lot. Putting a +1/+1 counter on your creatures is just not enough, I think.
There's so much that has to go right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You play a Kaya, the plus does nothing. It needs to live, and you need Battle Screech the next turn.
Yep.
There's just
and
so
your Battle
much.
Screech needs to resolve, and you need to then live a turn to attack with the birds and like have a way to close out the game.
And you need to dodge engineered explosives, which your deck is already soft to.
Yeah, so it's not exactly the strongest thing, but I will say it was quite fun. And I'd do it again. I wouldn't do it in an event, but I'd mess around with the more brews just to see if I could like find a way to make it a bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, probably not something I'll be actually jamming in modern events anytime soon. However, I did also try Winning Announcement, and I guess the results were a little bit similar. It's a card that does well, but it's just a little bit too slow as it looks. Making it 1/1 on the end step for 3 mana for a few turns is fine, but you can just play Lingering Souls.
Actually, to lead on from that, I actually think the new Edgar could be good in modern.
In tokens?
Maybe not in tokens. It could be good in like, maybe it could be good in tokens, but a black-white mid-range deck.
Right.
It could be good because if it dies,
Ooh.
it just comes back and makes tokens every turn.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe I should give that a shot. I actually didn't try it.
It could be interesting.
Yeah, and I have been looking for 4-drops. Usually I've been turning to Planeswalkers for my 4-drops.
Yeah.
But Edgar could be an interesting option for that. Yeah, actually. I'll put it on my list of things to try.
It pumps Legion's Landing token.
There we go. Maybe Vampire. There are cards that make Vampire tokens. There we go.
Yeah,
Vampire token tribal. That sounds terrible, but it sounds like fun.
Yeah. I feel like that could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be at least fun, and who knows? Maybe you can Belcher people out. Nobody expects the vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside from that, I guess a couple of cards that people have been thinking about that are potentially good. There's as we were saying, Cemetery Gatekeeper, and as everyone else was saying, really, everyone saw that it was like Eidolon. Yeah, I think I saw it was Magic Aids. Tried it out on YouTube, and it looked pretty interesting in that deck. I think he played it just straight up, swapped out Eidolons for this just to see how it did, and it did damage. I think Eidolon looked like it would have been better in most matchups.
Yeah.
But interesting suggestions that I've heard from people is that maybe the deck can just play more Eidolons. Like, is 4 the number of Eidolons you want? Would you want 5, 6, 7? Go up to the full 8?
Depends what else you're cutting.
Yeah. So I guess that's something for the burn players to find out. I'm not enough of a burn player to really know what the answer is there, but I think it's interesting that we might potentially actually see it, even though I initially thought this is worse than Eidolon. It's not that much worse than Eidolon, and it could probably see play alongside.
Yeah, it could have sideboard potential against stuff like Amulet Titan if that was to get big again.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, but burn players don't like change, so they probably won't try it.
True, it took people a long time to start playing Lurrus for free in the sideboards.
Yes, and some people still don't for some reason. Put companions in your sideboard.
And then ban them quick.
Yeah, ban Lurrus, please.
Yeah. What about you? Anything else that you've been sort of messing around with or thinking about?
I had a quick thought earlier.
Yes.
As I was talking to one of our friends, Bohan, who was on the podcast.
Yes.
And he was talking about Hullbreaker. What's the other part? Hullbreaker what? What's it called?
Yeah, just Hullbreaker, I think.
Sure. Well, no, it's called something else. It's Hullbreaker something, but
No, I think it's just called Hullbreaker, isn't it?
No.
Hullbreaker. Innistrad. I'm like Midnight Vow. No, that's not. Hold on.
Hullbreaker Horror. Yeah, that's.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, Hullbreaker
Okay.
Horror. Yeah. I swear we have notes, but Hullbreaker in modern, but doesn't seem too good on its own. But I've been playing around with Wilderness Reclamation decks quite a bit, and that could be an interesting payoff. Turn 5, you could go if you like turn 4 Reclamation, turn 5 float 5, untap, pay 7, play a Hullbreaker, and then play a 3-drop or like a 2-drop or something instant.
Ooh, actually, that's pretty intense. Yeah, then you can already bounce something.
Yeah, you can already bounce something. Or you could just hold
leave
up
up
like
mana, right?
Yeah, leave up the mana, hold up a counter spell or
Yeah.
or a removal spell, and then remand one of the cards to their hand.
Oh, that's solid, actually.
That could be an interesting thing to do. I'm not too sure
Yeah.
if that's. I might play around with that, but
Yeah.
yeah, that could be interesting to see.
I like that plan. I like the idea, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Anything else?
otherwise, there were some thoughts on limited and standard. What would you want to talk about first?
We start limited.
Yeah, all right. Did you do much drafting in the last week?
I have indeed.
Ooh,
I think how many drafts have I done? Like 5. I think I did like 5
mate.
over the weekend and last
way
few
ahead
days.
of me. I've done 2.
You've done 2. You've only done 2.
I'm sorry.
A new set has come out.
I
and
know.
you
I'm
don't
actually
even,
really hyped for it. I'm hyped to do more. But I had some other Magic to play. I was messing around in modern.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But no, the format's really good. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And everything I've drafted has seemed viable. Seemed like
Right.
it's got powerful aspects to it. So I feel like it'll be a good format. There's some dud cards that you just don't want to see, like Hullbreaker. Hullbreaker, it is so poorly designed for limited. And there's another one, the green mythic. What's it called?
Oh, is it the one that has hexproof and like
Yeah,
puts a
the
bunch of
hexproof
counters on
one.
everything? That card's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah,
idea
the
there.
green mythic.
I guess it's a mythic. Yeah.
Yeah, put both those cards up on the screen. But those 2 cards, if you see those in limited, take them. If you see them in the draft, take them. If you see an opponent play it, concede.
I think Hullbreaker. I mean, I lost with the Hullbreaker. I'm 1-1 now with Hullbreaker. I think.
Okay, well, I saw that game and you were so far behind.
Yeah,
that
I was very far behind at that
no
point.
card would have saved you at that point.
Yeah. Can't really blame the Hullbreaker.
Yeah. But would you've only done 2 drafts, but would you say it's a Prince format or a Pauper format?
Ooh, good question actually. I reckon it's probably a little bit too early to say that for me because I just haven't done that much drafting. But so far it does feel like the commons and uncommons have like some pretty solid synergies. So I guess it will depend on how many Hullbreakers and whatever the green card is. Like how many other cards are like that and just feel totally unbeatable. But there's good removal, there's pretty fine counterspells. You got Syncopate in the format. And yeah, just a lot of really solid cards all around. So I'd be surprised if the format relied that heavily on rares to just carry every day.
I think I'm leaning towards Prince.
Really?
Yeah, because there are some cards that just are so good and are
Right.
so hard to beat. Like you got the 4-mana legendary vampire, Angie or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
The new Siege Rhino.
Yep.
That is stupidly
Ridiculous,
good.
yeah.
It can beat any board state. Yeah, you got Hullbreaker, you got that green mythic. Like, there's a good amount of rares as well that they come down and then it's like you just groan. It's like ugh.
Yeah.
But no, even though it is a Prince format, you can still definitely win with commons and uncommons if you have the synergies. Which makes for a good format. I think I will be playing this one a lot more than I did the previous Innistrad set.
Right. And I guess yeah. Initially, first impressions are that the colors seem relatively balanced. Like I'm not seeing any crazy like, oh my god, this color has everything kind of things jumping out at me yet. I mean, we'll see how the format shakes out, but yeah. For now, it looks like there's enough interesting stuff around that hopefully we won't get locked into like just blue black or just I don't know, whatever other colors there are.
Yeah, every color seems good. I can't really rank them at this time.
Yeah, too early, too
It's
early.
yeah, but no, I've
And
had
who knows?
success
Maybe
with
this
every
time
color.
next week we'll be like, oh, mono white. It's so much better than all the other draft formats, all the other draft decks.
Yeah, I'm yet to play a Wandering Mind, though.
Oh,
That is unfortunate.
when you draft one, show me the list. I want to see.
Yeah. I will. But yeah, should we talk about standard now?
Yeah. What do you have your eye on for standard?
So, the first list I made was I saw a green white humans list,
Oh yes, that's
um,
right.
which I was like, do you really want to splash green in a white aggro deck? Because we've seen the prevalence of mono white aggro for so long.
Yeah.
Like adding Thalia to that would just be like you would think would just be better. But then I saw, um, God, I should know the name of these cards. Hamlet. What is it called? Hamlet Vanguard. That's what it is. Um, it is a 3 mana 1/1 with Ward 2, and it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it for each human you control. So, and it's only 3 mana and Ward 2 as well, which is very relevant. It's one of the best creatures, I think, on rate in standard. So you turn 1 human, turn 2 human, play this, you got a 3 mana 5/5 Ward 2.
And later on, it just scales with the game.
Yeah, and it's a great top deck as well. It beats Cinderclasm, which these decks are generally pretty poor against. Um, it gets to play Ranger class, so it gives you a bit more late game staying power. Um, and I had some decent success with this. I just felt like mono white potentially is still better, and I need to test that. I haven't played much mono white with Thalia yet,
Right.
and I think that will be one of the best decks in the format still.
Do you reckon that's mostly down to like mana issues, whether which version you end up playing, or will it be like down to the actual card choices?
No, I think the mana is fine.
Right.
You do have the green white slow land now.
Yep. But that's
Oh,
not that great in an aggro deck, right? Or is it still pretty playable?
it's still fine. It's still fine because
Yeah.
you do only play 5/1 drops, so playing it on turn one is fine.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
But you do use your mana very well. You got Ranger class and you got the green white legend, Catilda, I think it's called. That you can pay 6 and put a +1/+1 counter on all your creatures.
Oh, that one. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the deck can use its mana very well. So and it's an aggressive deck. It plays 24 land still because it has all these mana sinks, which is really
Yeah,
good
that
for an
seems pretty
aggressive
solid
deck.
actually. And as
But
you were saying, the Hamlet whatever.
Hamlet
Thingy.
Vanguard, yeah,
The Hamlet Vanguard. I keep thinking like Hamlet back Goliath.
yeah.
But oh, that card is it's pretty scary. Like you resolved it against me the other day, and I was like, yeah, I can't beat this.
Yeah, it's really good against the blue red decks as well.
Yeah.
Just paying 2 mana to target it. It dodges
two.
Demon Bolt, dodges
Yeah.
a lot of removal. They pay 5 mana to divide by 0. That's great for you.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah. But I still think mono white will still be better because it has a more aggressive curve and it still is able to use its mana in the late game with Faceless Haven and like Cave as well. Cave of the Frost
that makes
Dragon,
sense.
whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, so for me, I guess because I haven't done, I've been kind of, as I was saying, focused on modern a little bit more than on standard and limited. But I do have some things I want to try. So far, I'm still running my old red white burn, which I've been having a lot of fun with. I think the deck's actually still pretty solid. Has good game against the aggro decks, and still also is aggressive enough itself that it can sort of challenge some of the more mid-range or control decks. I wouldn't say it's busted, but it's definitely fun. And what I want to try in that is obviously Cemetery Gatekeeper again. Give that a shot. It's a burn card. Chuck it in burn. Let's go. But aside from that, I really want to play zombies. I'm very keen to play blue-black zombies. And I guess the main reason for that is Overcharged Amalgam. Now, I was hearing some people talking about it today, saying that it might not really be that much of a zombies card. And now thinking about it, it's true that I wouldn't necessarily have to play it in blue-black zombies. I really want to play Amalgam because that kind of tempo card a threat with a counterspell is exactly the kind of card I want to play. And so I might actually also brew around chucking that into my mono blue tempo deck and seeing if I can accommodate the sacrifice demands. But that's pretty much one of the things I want to play around the most. And then otherwise, vampires I kind of want to mess around with at some point. But again, I'm a little bit pinched for wildcards at the moment, so it's probably going to be a slow trickle of experimentation.
Speaking of vampires,
Yes.
that's actually the deck I've been playing now.
Right.
With I saw Gabriel
I say
Nassif.
right like I don't know.
Huh?
I say right like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I played 3 games against you with it, and it sucked. But I saw Gabriel Nassif streaming it, and I was like, oh, this does seem really cool. I wanted to try some other aggressive decks, and I don't like the mono green deck. I feel like that I wouldn't enjoy playing that deck, so I wanted something else.
Yeah.
I've been playing mono white for so long, and I was like, oh, this vampire list looks really cool. But it's not just an aggressive deck. It still has those late game bombs. It's got Urmastone Predator, which surprisingly is a vampire. I didn't realize it's a vampire.
Vampire dragon, is it?
Yeah, it's a vampire dragon.
What a weird set of creature types.
Yeah, exactly. But it's got that along with Angie, the black red sea rhino. Basically, you can sacrifice blood tokens or creatures to drain the opponent for 2.
Yeah.
Really good against removal. And not a card that was printed in this Innistrad set, but the previous one was Florian. It didn't get much help in that set, but with this being a vampire set, basically, it gained a lot more from this set. And
yeah, I did notice that with the menace creatures that you got, what was it, Vampire Socialite or whatever? It can be pretty hard to stop just the old turn 3 Slam of Florian start like hitting stuff. I guess as you were saying, on turn 3 you don't necessarily get a whole lot out of it, but just the fear of not being able to prevent the damage that's coming towards you and having your opponent draw a bunch of cards when they play Florian is high.
Yeah. A 3/3 first strike, I don't know if it lines up that well against what people are playing at the moment.
Right.
It's not good against Old Growth Troll. It's not good against Smoldering Egg.
True.
So it's just kind of sitting there. It does draw cards, which is good. It is 3 toughness, so it dies like Dragonfire and Demon Bolt and all that. But if it does stick around, it will win you the game on its own.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun to play, even though it didn't have a very good showing against you when I was testing it. I've been doing quite well with it in the ladder.
Yeah, I think I just got lucky as usual.
As usual. But yeah, I think... and I'll be playing in the Red Bull event this weekend.
Yes. What are you going to play? Vampires, surely.
I might play Vampires. It depends if I see anything else I like.
Yeah.
But right now, it's either Mono White or Vampires. I'm not too sure yet. But we'll see. I might do some testing.
Or green white.
Nah, I don't think I'll be playing green white.
But Fair enough.
Yeah. Vampires have been really fun to play.
Yeah. I can't wait till I can craft a couple of the cards and give it a shot myself.
Yeah. That one hurt my wildcard count a bit much.
Yeah, it looks like it would. Yeah. I guess there was actually one more thing, which was there were some rules changes announced that I think were announced last week, and we just didn't see them, but they were on the articles that Wizards publishes on their website.
No one looks at those.
No one looks at those, eh? Yeah, why would anyone look at those? But yes, a couple of small rules changed, which I actually was surprised about. So most of the stuff in the article was minor stuff, just adding the mechanics to the set, talking about blood tokens, stuff talking about like the mentor mechanic, whatever. I've already forgotten training. I reckon that has my vote for the most forgettable mechanic of the year, probably. I don't know.
Well, you don't know because you probably forgot one.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe, yeah, there could be worse, and I just don't even know it exists. But yeah, there were a couple of interesting things. There was the fact that now this is an interesting thing. I actually hadn't really noticed that this was a thing you could do in the past, but tokens that didn't specify what the name of the tokens was previously would just be called what the token is. So, for example, when you make a clue token, because let's say that you make a clue token, it didn't say the token was called anything, so it would just be called clue. And because the name of the token isn't on the card, like it isn't specified, you can't name, or in the past you couldn't name clues with pithing needle and stuff.
Well, okay, I have a clue right here in my hand. It says clue.
It does. But it doesn't specifically say like. I guess wait, what's the issue? So, pithing needle. I'm looking at pithing needle at the moment.
Because it's a token artifact clue, and the title is clue.
Yep. So it says on the rulings on pithing needle, ruling from 2005. I don't know. That's wow. It's old. You can name any card, even if that card doesn't normally have an activated ability. You can't name a token unless that token has the same name as a card. Right, okay, so the issue is actually because it's not... There's no card clue.
Yeah, there's no card called clue.
Okay, so that's actually what's going on there. So I was wrong in the explanation. But apparently there were some weird interactions with things like... because you have blood tokens this set. There was, I think that there's a card called Flesh / Blood.
Oh.
And you can name one side of it, and it would technically affect blood tokens. So it was like getting to the point where judges were like, this is gonna be annoying.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but so they ended up changing it now, so that the name of the token is now going to be called blood token, and clue is going to be clue token. That's actually the name of the token.
Right. And I have noticed this on Magic Online.
Oh, did they update that? Right.
Well, I saw this quite a few weeks ago, I think, that tokens are called, they're not just called, like, vampire. They're called vampire token. And,
right.
With Jadar, they're called zombie tokens. Like,
yeah. So that's a new thing to look out for, I suppose. Like, I doubt anyone was playing around that interaction because that's such an obscure one. But it's just interesting that it's something that technically could come up in a game, and it might have come up at some point, and I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually.
I feel like surely I've tried to pithing needle a clue at some point. Surely.
Yeah.
I didn't know you couldn't.
It's good that you know now.
And I suppose, yeah, you still can't, by the way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then there was just a small section as well explaining that the alternate universe cards. So we had in Ikoria the Godzilla cards, and in the most recent set in Vow, we had the Dracula-themed cards. That have their own like magic versions and some like alternate frames for them that explain the character that they are and whatever alternate IP is included in the set. So they've generalized that section in preparation for future sets where they'll do more of that sort of stuff, which is not a huge surprise. They have said that they were going to do that, but it just kind of had me thinking, yeah, what would you like to see, if anything? Like, do you mind about these sort of things showing up? Would you like to see anything in particular? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Call me a boomer, but I think they suck. They have no purpose. Just print the card.
Yeah, I mean, the card is printed alongside it. There is magic versions of the card.
Yes, there are. But why do we need 15 different versions of one card?
It's too late for that. Have you seen like all the different foils we get?
Exactly. It's the same with like the Modern Horizon cards or whatever. You got the normal. You got the normal foil. You got
true. Actually, it's a pain buying Modern Horizons cards online.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I think I've got the right version, and it's like, oh no, this is the extended art sketchbook. Sorry. What?
how many is there? Is that 8? There's normal foil. Wait, okay, so there's normal, sketch, etched, old border, and they all have foil versions.
Yep.
Right? So that's 8 different versions of one card in one set.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What is the point?
Yeah, it's a bit much for me as well. As we were saying, like it makes certain things like I pity the fools who have to do data entry on stores and like enter all the different versions individually and like count them as separate stocks, I guess.
And it's not even good for gameplay, Because buying them in
Yeah.
paper, don't you have like 3 different solitudes or something? Or do you have them all the same now?
No, I think I specifically tried to buy them all non-foil basic because I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this.
Exactly, but even that's hard because people
It
getting
was hard. It was because a lot of people were
Yeah.
selling like extended art ones and foil ones and all sorts of stuff, and I was like, I can't actually like. It took me quite a while to collect my playset just because.
Yeah, it just makes it so hard to collect the ones that you want. You don't. Some people do. Some people.
Some people do.
Well, some people want to see the world burn, but
You cast wildfire yourself before.
yeah. Generally, people want matching cards, and that is getting increasingly harder to do with all of these different versions, and I don't like that.
Right. I guess in this case, I do feel like I don't know. I still haven't seen that many of them. I guess partly we've been in lockdowns both times. The sets containing these have come out, so I don't know if I've ever seen one of these in paper. Of the Godzilla or the Dracula ones. Yeah, either or.
You know, Auckland is now one of the most locked down cities in the world.
Oh, interesting.
Which is so stupid.
Yeah, I guess.
I just want to go. I just want to go out again.
It's coming soon, I think. They said something about the movie, the country
movie.
moving.
15th of December.
Yeah.
We have 1 month. Another month.
Well, more magic. Let's go.
It's been over 2 months already.
Yeah, it has. It is getting a bit long now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Fingers crossed. We'll mentally get through it, and on the other side, we'll be able to play pre-releases. I wouldn't mind. Like, I hope shops. I don't know if they can do that, but if they can backtrack pre-releases, I'd be keen to just like do a string of pre-releases for all the missed sets.
Well, they'll have product, right?
Yeah. So they might just do like regular. I guess we can just do drafts and stuff. I'd be keen for that.
Yeah, I'd be keen to do some drafts. Man, I miss paper drafts.
It's so much fun.
I think that's the thing I miss the most.
Right.
We didn't do it very often, but when we did it, it was probably the most fun I had playing Magic.
Honestly, I miss the two-headed giant pre-releases.
That was so fun.
That was super fun.
Yeah.
I say that with like the slightest amount of guilt because I think they're supposed to be new player friendly, and usually when we go, we just kind of stomp the new players. But they're so fun.
It is so fun, yeah. It's good interaction.
I put together my custom pre-release kit, put all the lands in there, unsleeved all the cards from the last draft I did, and like readied it up. And I was like, "You're going in the cupboard."
I don't even have a pre-release kit. I should probably make one. I just don't have basic lands because I dump all of the stuff that I don't want to use.
I mean, I have tons of basic lands. I can just bring you some next time we go play tennis or something.
No, I need matching ones. I need matching lands.
True. Anyway, do you want to hit me with some Monkey Do to close things off?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's get up the old what's it called? Gatherer. It's been so long.
Yeah, it has been. Sorry, we to our devoted fans, we've missed Monkey Do for a couple of weeks. Partly because we had spoilers to do, and partly because we forgot during 1 or 2 episodes. But we're bringing it back. I'm struggling to not say anything else.
Yeah, well, I have one here. It's a recent card. I don't know if you'll get it though.
All right, well, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Shadewing Laureate.
Oh my, I've never heard of that. All right, I'm gonna guess. Laureate sounds like an academic thing. I don't know, like Strixhaven is what I'm thinking. Shadewing, Shade Black, I guess. Wing Flying. So let's go, like 4 mana, 2/3 flying common from Strixhaven. And when it enters the battlefield, you mill 2 cards. Or something.
Interesting.
How far was I?
You were on the right track, but you kind of
veered off at the end.
The ability is very far off.
Oh, right.
It's white black.
Okay.
It's white black and white black hybrid.
Yeah.
For a 2/2 flying human warlock. It is from Strixhaven. Whenever another creature you control with flying dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control.
Oh wow, cool. Okay. I got that it was a 2/3 flying.
That's a 2/2.
And I got the set.
2/2. 2/2.
Oh, 2/2. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Close.
You're close. You got the set. You got the power and the flying.
Yeah.
So.
And the color. And that wasn't hard.
Half the color. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Sweet as.
But yeah.
I think that's probably it, eh?
Yes.
Sweet. Bye.
Wow, that was the worst outro we've done.
Yeah. Have a good week.
Cool. Talk to you guys later.
TTYL.